To another video. Welcome to my first video of 2026. Things are very, very exciting. I want to catch up in this video. I want to share my 2026 goals. I want to show you some of my office and do a little bit of a mini tour, and we have a shelf to put a door on. There's a few things we need to do in this video. First, I'm going to make some tea. I've got this gingerbread tea left over from Christmas. The most exciting thing, I suppose, is the fact that THEODORA'S Tea Shop, my debut novel, is coming out this year. It's coming out in 2026 in July. For those of you who want to pre-order it, who haven't pre-ordered it yet, there's a link in the description down below. For those of you from the US and Canada, the best place to pre-order it is Blackwell's. You can pre-order the book even if you're not in the UK, the Commonwealth region, Australia, New Zealand. That's where the publishing deal currently is for THEODORA'S Tea Shop. But you can pre-order it internationally if that's something you would like to do. But oh my god, my heartfelt, gothic, 1920s inspired atmospheric fantasy novel is coming out this year. I could not be more excited. I submitted the copy edits at like 4 AM on Wednesday, so that's how I'm going basically. I've taken a few weeks off of content production stuff because life has just been a lot recently. I'll get into it in a minute, but also I had copy edits and line edits, and I have this big beautiful book that I wanted to pare back. So I managed to get the book down from 120,000 words to 117k, which I'm quite pleased about. But yeah, the book is sitting in a really, really good spot. I've seen the cover. The cover is going to be announced really, really soon. If you want to see the cover, follow me over on Instagram. It's probably going to go up there before it goes up on YouTube, depending on the dates that we announce it. But I've seen the cover. It's beautiful. I'm so excited. And yeah, I need to grab my tea. Let's head into my study and I can show you a little bit more of my office and then a little bit more of the rest of the house and all of the various things I want to share in this video. Welcome to my office, everyone. Now, full disclosure, this is just what it looks like at the moment. This is what a lot of our house looks like because both Tyler and I, since moving in here, we have been furiously busy. Now, to catch you up to speed on everything that went on, almost all of 2025, both for me and for Tyler, was insane from a work perspective, but also from a loved ones and personal life perspective. Like, we just had so much stuff to try and manage this past year. We got a beautiful little puppy named Mabel. We bought a house. That was a whole ordeal. We went through this thing where week after week after week, we spent every weekend doing like house stuff, looking for houses, inspecting areas. We fell in love with this one house that was in a completely different area to where we ended up in. We put in an offer like above what they wanted, and then after like weeks of umming and ahhing, the guy came back to us and said, actually no, I want another like $150,000 on top of that. And it was just like the most obscene, like greedy nonsense. It was a ridiculous time. Long story short, we had many weeks of all this stress and doing all this stuff, but then we saw this house and immediately we came to this house and we walked through our living room, and I'll include some little clips of what the living room looks like right now. It's a mess. There's cardboard everywhere. It's just cardboard. We saw the garden and we just fell in love immediately. Like, this house is a little bit older and there's a few things that are just slightly out of date, like the kitchen or the bathrooms or whatever, but it's perfect. This really felt like a home from the second we set foot here. So when we put in the offer for this house, I actually wrote a letter to the people who lived here. They'd been here for so many years. So I included a little picture of the three of us. And so I wrote that we could tell that this was a house that was really loved and looked after, and we really want to honor that. There were like 10 offers on this place. I don't know what the highest offer was, but turns out we weren't the highest offer. We actually got given the house because we wrote that letter, and I think we really identified with the stuff that we wrote. So by the way, if you're trying to find a house, writing a letter can be really, really helpful. And then I got sick for like 2 months. I was sick on and off for almost 2 months straight, maybe slightly over 2 months. We were trying to move house and I was on the phone to the GP trying to get more antibiotics. We moved in, and then directly after that we had a family member who was getting towards the end of her life, and so we spent a lot of time, like a lot of weekends with her. She did pass. She was 89 years old, so that was Tyler's grandmother, and we had the funeral, and then we had another family member who was kind of half moving their stuff from Whyalla, so we went up to Whyalla and back to help, and we had Christmas. I made 70 gingerbread, and so basically for the past 6 months I feel like I have not had a spare second to breathe, because in between all of that, in between getting sick and trying to manage all of my normal workload, I was trying to do edits on Theodora's Tea Shop. So I did like my structural edit, I did my copy edit. We're almost done with Theodora's Tea Shop. I just have a couple little final bits of copy editing that I think I'm going to need to do in the next month or so. I meant to take most of December off, and that did not happen because we had edits and we had all the other stuff. But yeah, I have taken a few days off. Mabel, please don't. She is still very much a puppy. She is also in a thievery phase. I love her so much. She has distracted me though, so I don't know what I was saying. But basically, we need to build my new desk chair. We need to move a bookshelf into here. We need to put a door on that shelf. Ideally, if we could unpack a box or two, that'd be really nice. But let's start off by building my new desk chair. I was so lucky because the beautiful people at FlexiSpot have sent me this new desk chair. So this isn't sponsored, but they did send me this desk chair and also a desk chair for Tyler for free. So I'm very, very grateful because God, I have needed a new one. I hate this desk chair. It's been like 4 years, but here's the thing. There was nothing technically wrong with it, so I felt like I couldn't replace it. But a company sending me a new chair for free definitely bypasses the guilt I have for not keeping something that technically there's nothing wrong with. It's just not very comfortable. So a massive thank you to FlexiSpot for sending me this chair and Tyler's chair as well. These chairs are really cool because they're very customizable. They're very big on lumbar support. You can change the lumbar support, you can change the headrests, there's a footrest, the armrests are customizable. So the chair I got is the C7. If you want to check it out, there's a link in the description down below. I do have a 10% off code. You can just use my name, Christy, in uppercase letters, if you want to grab 10% off of a lovely new desk chair. And it was actually really easy to put together, even though I am very fatigued on building furniture. I've built so much furniture in the last few weeks, but anyway, here I am. Here is my new chair. It's very, very cool and very ergonomic. So anyway, I wanted to talk about my 2026 goals. The main goal that I have for writing is obviously around Theodora's Tea Shop. Now that book is going to be launching this year. I'm going to be having a meeting really, really soon to find out what the promotion schedule is going to be like for that, like all the stuff that we're going to do. I have, as I mentioned earlier, a few little bits and pieces for the copy edit. There's an audiobook that's coming. So if people asked if there's going to be an audiobook, yes, there will be an audiobook. So in addition to Theodora's Tea Shop, I really desperately want to finish Project Spiegel Tent. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I was moving on from basically draft 2 to a draft 2.5 on Project Spiegel Tent. And for anyone who's not caught up to date, Project Spiegel Tent is my arts festival, gothic, mildly circusy, arty Künstlerroman book. So Künstlerroman as in artists coming of age. The main character's name is Claire. She's a young woman who goes and works at a creepy arts festival that's hiding something. Ended up doing away with the concept of a draft 2.5. We're just calling it draft 3. I wrote draft 3 of this book. I'm on chapter 8, 9. I think I'm on chapter 9 of this book, doing draft 3. Really, I could have sent this to my literary agent Bailey last year, but I just felt like I wanted to bring it to her in the best possible spot. Like, I'm such an iterative writer where I don't know what the thing is going to be until I've written it down, and then I don't know how I'm going to develop it until I've done the second draft and the third draft. And I think it would be an utter waste to send someone a first draft of mine because that's not anywhere near where the story is going to end up. So I need to finish draft 3. It's been killing me that I've been so stop-start on Project Spiegel Tent, but the truth of the matter is that I've had to prioritize Theodora's Tea Shop. It takes me a little while to spin up on a creative project, I think in part because my job is very, very creative, and so I've found over the past 1.5 years that every time I've gotten momentum on Spiegel Tent, I've had to stop and go and work on Tea Shop. What I kind of need is like 3 months on one project. The context switching is really difficult for me. It's just been really hard being so stop-start on it. I'm hoping that I'm almost done. I'm hoping that I'm almost ready to send that. I would like to get started on a new novel this year. I'm in between 3 different concepts. We don't need to decide just yet. In terms of my career, and work stuff and content production. I'm going to keep making YouTube videos. I really would like to try a little bit harder to do more in-person stuff this year. So last year I did some mentoring, I volunteered at a high school, I did some sessions with this class of really, really clever 13-year-olds. Like I applied for quite a few fellowships last year, got rejected for all of them. That was actually a really unpleasant experience. I had a really unpleasant interview that like decimated my psyche. It was so mean and reminded me why I'm writing a novel about artistic snobbery. So that was a good reminder as to why I'm writing Project Spiegeltent in the first place. But anyway, I'm sort of done on applying for fellowships, I think, because I have such a beautiful space here now. I mean, in the apartment, everything was so uncomfortable and cramped and everything was too hot all the time. But here, this is a beautiful space. It's huge. I can open the window. There's trees everywhere. It's really lovely. But I would like to find opportunities this year to do more in-person stuff, whether that's running another group trip, doing writing retreats, doing some kind of workshop, something. I'd like to do something which connects me a little bit more to people in real life. I'm hoping that I get some of that out of doing the promotional stuff for Theodora's Tea Shops. I think I just really want to keep prioritizing my well-being. My immune system was shot last year. I want to get back into fitness stuff because I didn't exercise for like 3 months because I was sick and then we moved and then it was Christmas. I would like to spend more time on creative endeavors. I have a sewing machine I need to get fixed. I would like to get back into knitting. I would like to get back into drawing at some point. Basically for 2026, I'm very, very excited and I just want to work less and have more fun and spend a lot of time with my loved ones and connect with people and also finish 3 novels. Anyway, over on Instagram, I asked you guys if you had any questions for me, things about Theodora's Tea Shop, things about life you wanted me to answer for this first video of 2026. So I'm going to move some stuff around, do some unpacking and answer your questions. So the first question is, how's the puppy impacted your life? She's so darling. She is. She's beautiful. Tyler and I love her so much. It's been such a fun challenge for the both of us to learn how to raise a little puppy together. The challenge, I think I can speak for both of us, is how distracting she is. I still struggle to get like unbroken work time because she's still a puppy. So she'll steal something from my office or she'll start barking and we have to train her out of doing the barking. A beautiful distraction. Also, she's been really good in forcing me to stop work sometimes because she needs to go for a walk. We have to walk her at least once a day. She is the type of dog that needs to be walked like more than once a day. She's just so clever and she has a lot of energy, and it's a lot easier now that we have the new house because I can just let her outside and she just runs laps. Do you think writers have a sort of ethical duty to comment on the current events in their work? So not really, no. I think the writer has a duty to write the most authentic story to them, and anything that isn't authentic to that person personally is just gonna come off as inauthentic in the work anyway. The thing is that a book which is escapist, fun, doesn't have any really hard-hitting themes is just as valuable as a book that does have hard-hitting themes. We need both kinds of media. We need light and we need shade. I think it's important that the author does the thing that feels the most natural to them, because again, if you try to force a theme into your story, it's just going to come across as really disingenuous and you'll do a lot more harm to that theme overall. Like it happens a lot in television where you see an episode of a TV show has a very particular meaning, and even if I fundamentally agree with the meaning of that episode, if it's really heavy-handed, if it talks down to the audience, it's just irritating. It's not fun anymore and it takes you out of the world, it takes you out of the viewing experience or the reading experience if it's a book. For me as a writer, I tend to be very, very themes focused. So for Theodora's Tea Shop, that theme is found families and learning to accept who you are, and Dot, our main character, kind of goes on this journey where she has to learn that it's okay to be who she is. She's this kind of timid, sensitive young woman who she's very good at maths and she loves maps and she sort of struggled to make friends, and she goes on this journey where she needs to learn that all of that is okay. She doesn't need to change for other people, she needs to find the right people. And so that's a really big theme of Theodora's Tea Shop that I wanted to explore with that book. Project Spiegeltent, however, is more focused on the arts and artistic snobbery, and so that's a theme that I wanted to explore with that book. And so for me as a writer, I'm very, very very theme focused. But to circle back to this question, I think the author has a duty to write the thing that's the most authentic to them, because this is a very, very long journey. You need to be passionate about the things that you're writing, because now on Theodora's Tea Shop, it's 2026. I started writing this in 2020. This is the 7th year I've been working on Theodora's Tea Shop. If you could speak to the version of you who first wrote Tea Shop, what would you say? I would say get comfortable. Like, be really, really comfortable with how many years this is going to take you. I started writing Theodora's Tea Shop when I was 24 years old. I got my agent at like 26? No, I got my agent at 27. I got the book deal at 28. The book's coming out after I'm 30. So that, like, it's just, it takes a long time. So I would say to that 24-year-old who is still working in marketing, who was very overworked at the time, who was forced to quit her master's degree in order to keep doing the YouTube channel, I would say to her, you're gonna get there. It's gonna take a long time and you need to be okay with that. Will you ever launch a writing course? I would love to find a way to make a course that's accessible to a lot of people. I've done workshops before, I've done a lot of work with the local libraries here, and I really love teaching. I was, for those of you who don't know, previously an English teacher, like as in I taught English overseas. I love teaching, I love connecting with people. I've loved the videos I've made over on Patreon where, like, I've, for example, critiqued snippets of people's writing, and I feel like I have a lot I can speak about now. Probably I would focus on something like atmospheric writing, imagery, metaphor, figurative language, speculative stuff. Something like that is particularly where I feel like I could add value, but I still want to make sure that by the time I'm making workshops, I want to make sure that I feel really, really comfortable in my expertise, that I know I can genuinely offer value to people. I would love to know your comfort movies. The main one is Paddington. Paddington is, I think, now my favorite movie, and historically the answer was always 500 Days of Summer, because I love that film. That film was so influential to me as a 14-year-old. Massive for my style, my taste in music, everything. I love that film. However, I think my favorite film is the first Paddington movie. I adore it. I watch it many times a year. My other comfort movies are Moulin Rouge. I love just binge watching Lord of the Rings, Dead Poets Society. I actually have a video where I've spoken about my favorite films of all time. That list is still pretty consistent, but I would probably add to that Parasite, Last Night in Soho, and also obviously every film that Hayao Miyazaki has done. What's your favorite music to write to? So for Theodora's Tea Shop, I listened to this one playlist on YouTube which is called Saying Goodbye to Your Comfort Character, and this playlist, like the second I hear any of these songs, I'm immediately transported into this world, because I spent like 6 years listening to this playlist. I think the original video got deleted and then it got re-uploaded. I'll link it down below, but I love that. And then in addition to that, I've also listened to a lot of Sleep Token while editing Tea Shop particularly. Generally for projects, I'll have a specific playlist or a specific song that very much puts me in the mind of that world or that character. Maybe Dance Macabre by Ghost is probably like the best song I've found so far for Spiegel 10. I've made a Project Spiegel 10 playlist and it just has Ghost. Maybe also Ascensionism by Sleep Token is in there. But yeah, I've been struggling to find music that I think really fits the vibe of Project Spiegel 10. What are you most looking forward to about Theodora's Tea Shop being published? Oh my god, so many things. For people to finally be able to read it. I'm so excited for people to find these characters like Dot or Theodora or Leo or Rupert or Bellchamber, or the antagonists we have in the book as well, and to see themselves in these characters. I've written a book which is fun and twisty and dark in places and cozy in other places, but it's a very, very vulnerable book, and it's about people finding friendship. I love these characters. I love the way they interact. I love their character arcs. I just am so excited to share this with you guys. And oh my god, I'm starting to get emotional because I've just realized there's going to come a time really soon where I don't get to spend time in this world anymore, and I think that's going to be a bit sad to me because I've been here for so long. I love this book, I love this world, and I'm just excited to bring this to people and to have people get to experience this, and I hope that people like it. I'm also really, really excited for the book to just come out and for me to be able to talk to people about it and yeah, it's gonna be wild having that book finally out in the world. What were the main hopes, dreams, or requirements for the new home? The main thing that I wanted was a garden. I had this really big dream of having an orange tree or some kind of fruit tree, and oh my god, somehow that happened. We've got, I think they're oranges. I'm pretty sure they might be nectarines, I'm not 100% certain. They look like oranges, they're just not very orange in color. Maybe it's just not a super successful orange tree. It's also a lemon tree. The fact that we've got a garden was a dream come true. I didn't think we were going to be able to wrangle that. As I mentioned earlier in this video, the other house we were looking at didn't really have a garden. Like there was kind of like a paved area, but this place that we're in, oh my god, the garden is magical. We have some deciduous trees, we've got grass. I walked barefoot on grass for the first time in so many years, like when we moved in, and just magical. Basically the main thing we wanted was somewhere for Mabel to run around. We really wanted a house that was interesting and a little bit charming and not like necessarily super duper new. Like we wanted something interesting that we could kind of like put our own spin on. Like I didn't want something that had been freshly renovated and was like chrome and just boring everywhere. We're so excited to paint and to put up wallpaper and to design the space and to really make it our own. It's been fun to collaborate with Tyler, my partner, on exactly what kind of vibe we want, and we love it. We love it here so much. We're so happy. I feel really, really, really grateful. What things did your editor and then your publisher ask you to change? Seems like a lot of work. It is a lot of work, and that's totally normal. There wasn't really like anything egregiously huge. Like there wasn't like, it's just basically when you're working professionally on creative things, there's always going to be ideation, and everything can always be made better. Everything can always be made stronger. And so there wasn't any like big one huge thing that had to be changed or taken out. It was just, how do we polish this in the best possible way? So basically, by the time my book got to the publisher, I'd already gone through some kind of significant structural edits with Bailey. So for that was mostly just a pacing thing. Like I had this thing happen in the middle of the novel, and then another thing happened a little bit later on. And essentially what I did was taking those two big moments and I just put them together and I made them the same moment, so that the pacing wasn't like up and down. And by doing that, it gave me more space to play around with the world building, to play around with the politics. I had all of these details that I hadn't put in the book because I didn't have the words and I didn't have the space, but because we did that, I ended up getting the space, so I got to add in some chapters earlier on in the story which showed a little bit more of the world and the detail. But in one of these key chapters, Dot gets to experience a new corner of the city, and so it was like this really fun world building. There was a kind of creepy moment I got to put in, which was really, really fun and cool, and the dialogue I had a lot of fun writing. And so that's why I manage word counts so much. It's like I want to write the best story that I can, but words are your main resource as a writer. Mostly the structural edits that I did with my literary agent were around pacing and just simplifying some stuff, because this novel has a lot of different plot threads. And then when I got to the publisher said that the book was in a really, really good spot, so we didn't really have that much structural stuff to do. Like there was a little bit of simplification, there was a little bit of clarity that I needed to put in around like how the magic system worked, or how like the character's backstory worked in this specific thing, because when you're staring at the same project for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, you end up being a little bit too close to it. And so it was a lot of work, yes, absolutely, but it was the totally normal amount of work that you do when you're editing a book. I think this is probably one of the most misunderstood things about writing a novel. People think that you sit down in a chair and you type up 100,000 words in one go and then you're just done. And maybe for some people they are done, and maybe for some people they have written the perfect project, the perfect novel in one go, but for the rest of us there's a lot of planning. There's the writing of the first draft, and then there's just ideation upon ideation upon ideation. Once you go through the edits with the publisher, the book will still not be perfect, because nothing is ever perfect. You can always improve stuff. And the final question, what is your current favorite part of or routine at your new home? I love going outside. And that sounds ridiculous. If this is the first video of mine you're watching, you're probably like, Christy, what do you mean? But with the last apartment, the windows did not open. It was stuffy every single day. It was too hot every single day. It was, from a sensory perspective, really overwhelming and suffocating. And I tried really hard not to complain about it, but in terms of like our well-being, it was kind of crappy. So yeah, I love being in a place where the temperature is just nice. I love waking up and the air is not dry and gross. I love being in this house and hearing the rain on the roof, because we didn't get that in the big apartment building. And yeah, I love being able to go outside and just chill outside with Mabel. I love eating my breakfast outside and getting to listen to all the birds, the kookaburras, getting to see the early morning sun and the flowers. We have so many flowers here. I feel really lucky. I love going for walks. I love our local neighborhood. Again, there's just nature everywhere. It's so lovely. But anyway, that is the end of the questions and the end of this video. Thank you guys so very much for watching. We have some really, really exciting stuff coming in 2026. The cover is going to be announced at some point soon. Arcs are going to be going out relatively soon. Oh my god, that's going to be so exciting. And again, if you want to pre-order the book, you can do that by clicking the link in the description down below. If you're in North America, please feel free to go to Blackwell's to pre-order the book. And if you don't want to pre-order the book, you can add it on Goodreads or Storygraph. It's going to be coming out on July 28th, 2026. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to finish Spiegel Tent this year. I'm so excited to start the third thing this year. Anyway, thank you guys for being here, for watching this video, and then a final thank you to the beautiful people over on Patreon, because without Patreon, I wouldn't be able to make these videos. Over there, we have a bunch of lovely bonus content, our bonus videos, the book club, the Discord server. I post writing updates over there. I have so many things over on Patreon, so if you'd like to check it out, there's a link in the description down below. Take care, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.